So good evening and welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We're live from Full Speed Event Studio number 3 over here in France. We're bringing you the Chaingang between Christmas and New Year. It's going to be a wow DCG, the penultimate ride in December as part of the 1080 Oakley month of December. And we've got a giveaway tonight, courtesy of Ian Taylor and the gang at 1080. And that means that we are going to be selecting one member of the DCG gang, the guys who keep the show on the road. And we will be giving them the chance to pick any Oakleys, full custom, full scripted, full written on whatever lenses, whatever style, Katos, frog skins, Sutos, whatever you want. New gaming prisms, set of Holbrooks, whatever you fancy. You can choose whatever you want if you are one of our lucky winners. Of course, the members of the DCG gang, don't forget, guys, I know we're in the middle of sales and everything, but 1080 always have the best prices on Oakleys, and that's even more the case when you use the discount that the members of the DCG gang get, along with the discounts they get from all of these folks up here. Now, we are heading into our Wow DCG. It's the last one of 2022, quite scary, and we thought we'd resurrect a couple of things that we've done previously. Roll my sleeves up because it's going to get exciting now. So we are resurrecting the Chaingang's former yellow beacon, who will be back very shortly, as our red beacon, because we've managed to twist Amazon. We're going to test the limits of the internet in the middle of rural, middle of nowhere France. And tonight's beacons are going to be playing simultaneously, one of which is going to be riding the game through the net here in the studios, as well as us using the game on broadcast. And, of course, we're going to be streaming it out to multiple locations simultaneously. What better test for that and the whole new electricity setup that's coming in to the studios. Now, don't forget, of course, that we are going to be back in the new year. And before that, it's Russ's Last Ride of 2022 tomorrow on the Chaingang on a brand new route as well. Where are we going tonight? What's the route for the WoW DCG? Well, it's Keith Hill After Party. This is going to be a really interesting, because this is a bit of a classic in some ways on the Chaingang. It's one that's been used by Russ and by Emma previously, with a lead-in of half a K. You start in the top right-hand corner in the pens, go down onto the circuit proper and go the wrong way around Greater London Flat. You then go the correct way around Greater London Flat. You then finish that loop by dropping down Northumberland Avenue, dropping along the river and heading back out past the start point, and then onto Keith Hill to finish at the very top of the Keith Hill KOM or QOM, as is the case tonight. Total elevation is 407 metres, most of which comes up at the end. And if we jump from our Zwift Hacks map across to our profile, courtesy of the team on VeloViewer, then we can show you exactly what our blue dot is just about to face as it goes up on to Keith Hill, and what our riders will be facing at the end, because this is what you're looking at. You ride essentially from the left-hand side of the graphic towards the loops on the right-hand side. We go around those loops anti-clockwise. When we go around them clockwise, we return back to the left-hand side of the graphic and then up on to the climb once you've gone on the way through. This is really, really key. This climb at the end will test our riders. Now, the rider who has taken on red beacon rolls, yellow beacon rolls, one of our regulars on the Chaingang, who else to have as our yellow beacon? It made a whole lot of sense for a whole load of reasons to have the one and only Foxy on. It is Lisa Jane Leet. Rise for the Rave team, one of our regulars on the Chaingang, one of our regulars since pretty much Wurga, and a rider who rides at both the DCG and the WoW DCG. Now, we picked a particularly old picture here on the left-hand side of Lisa. I think it's 2016 there on the left, but it's reminiscent of riding on the tarmac in some very nice hot weather, which everybody can dream of, because, well, let's face it, we're only just outside the darkest day 1 week on from the solstice, so Starting to get lighter, not quite sunny weather and blue skies yet, but Lisa in charge of the ride and in charge of picking the time when we say that go, go, go. Now, our red beacon. It is the one and only Emma Martin, aka the boss. Bam, bam, bam. There you go. We have Emma back on the bike. We've picked the Fossa kit, and the reason we've picked the Fossa kit is, guess what? It's red and white and black, but it's got some red in there. And it's as good colour coordinated as I get. Of course, riding for the Aeonian race team as well. So let's take a double check. And let's have a look how our riders are lining up. Remember, quick reminder of the route. This is where we're heading. This is what the hills look like. Our yellow beacon is Lisa Chaingang. Our red beacon is going to be Emma. Let's have a quick look down across. You can see them. Don't look at me, I'm on camera, I know. But down there, just to the side of the screen there. So it looks like Lisa just warming her legs up here, just reading my script and making sure that we know that we have got onto it. So, okay, very interesting. We have got the script sorted. It tells me that we have 56 riders ready to go, so I've made a note of that. 56 riders ready to go in the draw. That's the final scores on the door. So a 3 in 56 chance this time round. It'll be a little bit less as we move our way through. So let's jump in with the ride and let's take a look as these riders get ready to head out and away. You can see the screen, just the helicopter just hovering. We're just at 1 minute to go. And a quick reminder, if you've not ridden the Chaingang before, then quick reminder, don't forget, stay around yellow. Dead easy instruction. Stay around the yellow. Don't leave yellow. If you are going to get dropped, if you need help getting back on, please message the red beacon. Let them know. If you don't want the red beacon to wait, also, please let them know. Don't forget, of course, that once the go, go, go has gone, then it is time. There are no rules, no limits. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. Of course, it usually ends up being a race into the line. So with our screen showing 20 seconds to go, the countdown is on. Our riders are ready to roll. Let's see who is going to lead them out. We will be jumping around and let's see who is going to take our riders out. Remember, the lead out nice and steady, plenty of time to stretch those legs on the way out. And why not, let's sit in with Sammy Stewart as she makes her way out. One of our really famous riders. I think we're allowed to say famous for Sammy these days. So our riders heading out from that start. Let's take a little bit of a check where our riders are. We're going to jump back in with our poor old avatar. This is our avatar. It's not actually Emma. Emma's up and away. And looks like Helen Stewart just chasing on to the back of the group. Rebecca Ryder, Emma, the beacon there. Just leaving some breadcrumbs for these riders to chase here. Helen, I think just starting to wind that pace up. So remember, keeping that pace together is key on the way out as we go underneath the official start line. So remember, it's 500 metres to get underneath that start line and then start heading out from there. So one rider just behind at the moment. And that is Helen, and looks like Emma just easing back a little bit to give some pace to Helen, to bring Helen in and along. And remember, Helen, if you are watching live, jump in. Beacons are here to help you. They are super quick and generally rather fast. And let's face it, first look of our Aeonian beacon, it is Emma, who's just dropped to go give some assistance. Now, Emma will be using those keys. And remember, if you are a beacon, easiest one, 6 gives you a look back. So this is our number 6 view. I'll give you a quick rundown. We'll start with number 1. Number 1 is the standard view. Number 2 is even closer view. Number 3 is first person. Nobody really uses this one, I have to be fair. So number 4 is a side view. Number 5 is the camera on the floor. Number 6 is the view looking back. And then you've got a view of 7. This is our panoramic our artistic director shot. Number 8 is our helicopter shot. And number 9 is if we had a cable cam over top. And the last one is actually 0. And this is our favourite here in the studio, because this is our drone camera. We can get really spinny with it as well. So looks like we're just having to drop to give Helen a hand at the moment. So let's see how these riders are doing. Looks like there's a group of 3 just dropping back just to give a little bit of a hand. So looks like Helen just getting the instruction from Emma just to drop and then jump back in again. It will give you that to jump into the bunch. Will make things much easier rather than trying to tow your way in along. Let's have a quick look at our little group who's dropped back in here. So this is going to be a lane in here, lane Farwell. Jumping on, nice choice of bike. They've gone for the lightweight bike, which will definitely help on the hills. Along with Emma Lansfield. Emma going for a more aero bike, but quite a lightweight bike. Also not a bad choice. Interesting to see very limited number of discs in here. Let's have a little look at what Miss Cookies has underneath. So Cervelo is here. The Cervelo on there, and just seeing, I think, the Terminator just dropping back to go help the gang. So here we go. Rejoin, always a good move. Drop out, rejoin, and then it will drop you straight back in again. And that should, in theory, mean that the gang are going to come in. So it's a rejoin or a tow. That is the question. Let's have a little look. See how the messaging is going. So Lisa on the front, shouting shots, making sure everybody is following the instructions. 2 watts per kilo, please. 2 watts per kilo. You can just see Lisa Jane Late. Interestingly, Lisa has gone for a disc because predominantly this course is flat. So let's take a little bit of a check around the riders who are in and around. We've got Fiona Booker, Sarah Briggs, Ginger Ninja herself. And she's even managed to get the ginger hair. In fact, Sarah, that does look scarily like you as well. Just missing the gin in the water bottle, and that's about all that it would need to be the true Sarah Briggs. So good. So we've got Izzy Torion, Sammy Stewart in here, the Cookie group here. So Emma looks like Stewart getting a little bit of a tow at the moment. Remember, key here is to jump into that draft. It's all about staying in the draft. If Helen can do that 1.6, 1.8, Emma will be doing 2.2, 2.3s, and that will bring these riders back in. So let's have a look. The gap's closing up at the front, I think. So let's take a little bit of a check at our leaders a little bit further up the group around our yellow beacon. Remember, it's all about holding around the yellow beacon. We're going to be taking that right-hand turn. Let's see how those gaps close onto the climb. Remember, of course, as the climb hits, that's when things start to get spread out as we go back over the top. So we've got Joe Blackburn back in here as well. Some real names on board. So the riders in the group, looks like Tracy just dropping back to go back towards Emma here. The message is popping up. May well be that they're not on the board, and we need our yellow beacon actually to put the message out. Key, we always say, make sure you put your message board on so that you can see what's being said. It is absolutely key to make sure that the ride runs nice and smoothly. Just jumping in with our Terminator. This is Tracy Terminator T 2.0. So it looks like Helen jumping out and rejoin. Going to be doing a jump back in again, and that's going to leave Emma to tick her way up with, I think, with Tracy City for company. Back up towards the group. The front of the group's just reaching the top of the cloud, taking that left hand turn. They're going to go basically the wrong way out and around the Greater London flat route. So now this is going to be about Tracy and Emma making their way back towards that group. The gap at the moment is on a minute. Good to see that we've got Terminator in here as well. So Sammy Stewart, Emma Lansfield, Miss Cookie just coming up over the top of the climb. I think there's going to be a big bus forming. So it looks like Tracy and Emma for a spin. So it looks like Miss Cookie going to be the next rider to get swept by the bus. Looks like Emma and Tracy on a little bit of a rocky top. Let's take a little bit of a check back. You can see that pillar of a light, the red beacon, just start to make the way back up. Emma Lansfield, Sammy Stewart are on the way through. So let's see. It's that red bus. What pace it's going to run at? The more passengers it gets. So this is where Miss Cookie's going to see if she can jump on board the express. I think it's going to be the Seeley and Emma Express. Emma and Tracy on the way up. Then it's going to be Cookie. Then it's Emma Lansfield. So that gap now down to 5 seconds. They're coming at a pretty smart pace. Looks like Sammy Stewart just in front. So it looks like going to be Danielle Miller. Going to be the option for Danielle to jump on. And Danielle riding a nice 2.5 watts per kilo at the moment. So then it's going to be Rebecca Ryder. Then Joe Lee just holding the back of the bunch. Looks like Izzy Torrey in there as well. And that whole bunch just holding pace at the moment. They've come to the top of the climb. They're going to hit that underpass pretty quickly though. And this group with a pretty decent sized gap at the moment. It looks to me like the total gap about 46 seconds back from our beacon. So the shout going out to Miss Cookie to keep that pace rolling. They're just about to take that left hand turn as well. So this may well be where there's a choice made by our beacon, because our red beacon's going to have to decide to go take Tracy City back onto the bunch, or go for a spin with Miss Cookie. Always an entertaining moment. Joys of pulling about, and it looks like Emma's choosing to stay with Cookie. Miss Cookie saying she'll be ages, drumming on it to 2 watts per kilo. So it looks like Cookie getting the Chocolate Chip Hero Award. Let's have a little bit of a check. So it looks like Danielle Miller going to be in with the group behind. So Danielle, Emma as well, Emma Lansfield here. Let's take a look, see how these riders are rolling. They're doing okay at the moment. So that message board nice and busy at the moment. So I think Tracy Seeley's got the potential of some company, but I suspect Miss Cookie and Emma are going to be picking up Danielle and Emma Lansfield, I suspect. So don't think they're going to be making our yellow beacon group. Sammy Stewart pushing on now, just got Rebecca Ryder. I think Sammy Stewart going to need to push on to get in with that group. We know Sammy's got the power to get to that yellow beacon, but this is serious power. So Sammy's going to have to do a big effort to push up if she's going to go up there. So Tracy Seeley with the potential, I think, getting the toe off Emma on the way through, and then I think Emma going to be jumps off the power. Just an interesting little moment there on the screens as we see the riders go through. And I think our bus has its potential to be Emma Lansfield, Danielle Miller and Miss Cookie. Looks like Helen Stewart already back in with the main group. Interesting that Tracy Seeley's in no rush tonight. She's doing a 500K. She's doing basically the rough 500, all in one day, all on Zwift, all on Friday. Volker and Tonic, the pair of them being mad enough to do that. aka Vin and along with Tracy. So Miss Cookie, Danielle Miller and Emma Lansfield. I think the bus is going to form. I think our red beacon is just letting them drift up to her. I think that group are all going to come back together again as the red beacon bus, and that is going to leave Rebecca Ryder a little in no man's land here. Going to have the option of potentially going to be seeing that red beacon group coming back in. So remember, we have a flat loop going round this loop anti-clockwise, then we go round clockwise, then we go back past the start line, then we go up on to the hill. So in past the party bus we go. Looks like Emma just taking a little bit of a breather. She's got cookies. That doesn't surprise me, because she's stolen them from. So here we go. Red beacon back on the road. Going to be chasing Miss Cookie now, actually. Bribery at the back of the bus. Just heading down past the pub. It's the empty bidon. Keep the tunes going. So down past the boozer. Okay, so this looks like this is going to be the bus once our beacon gets there, which means up the road we're going to have Rebecca Ryder. Now Ryder could potentially be picked up. Sammy Stewart, I think, just having a steady road with Ryder and with Tracy Seeley. So we've got about 3 groups on. We've got a main yellow beacon group, which is motoring its way along. Looks sort of like we've got Easto in here as well. Carolina in the gang. Emma is the quite a star-studded little lineup in there. Apparently Seeley drank all the Baileys last week. An interesting move. I'll tell you something, this is going to be an interesting group here. I think Ginger Ninja in this pack as well. Then we're going to have the Rebecca Ryder, the Sammy Stewart and Tracy Seeley group, potentially. And then the Cookie, Lansfield, Miller and Emma, the Red Beacon. If this trio get themselves back together again. Let's see how they get on as they come in through this section. So I think that group is coming together. So it's going to be Emma, our Red Beacon, and then Danielle Miller and Emma Lansfield and Miss Cookie. So these 4 need to work together again now, form a group and act as one. So looks like Miss Cookie just easing off the pace, get these 4, get the bus together, get the band together at the back there. And then we've got a group of 3. So we've got a group of 4 at 18 seconds down on a group of 3 who are 1 minute down on the group. So let's jump in with our yellow beacon group. Let's have a little run through this group and try and put a few names to faces. So Marianne in here, Gisalinik, I think. Depends how many of those syllables we actually pronounce. Looks like Lexi Hartley in here. Lexi Hartley Oxby in. So Carolina Chostikowicz. Looks like Valerino is back. So Nicola Valerino in here. Good to see Nicola in here as well. We've got Emma Dooley, one of our regulars in here. Of course, our yellow beaker, Lisa Jane Lake. Sandra McKay in here. Another of our regular riders. Good to see Sandra in, I think, on the far side of that group. Yeah, just on the outside. Joe Blackburn and Joanne Lee in here. Looks like Angela Webster once again. Emma Gilbert in here. I think Emma's going to be tucked in the blue. She is indeed. Let's have a look who's in the Electric Spirit. And this is going to be Suzanne Monkhouse in here. So Suzanne coming in the Electric Spirit kit. That is the bright orange and white kit in there. Looking good at the moment. Izzy Torrey in the Aeonian strip as well. Good to see Izzy on there. Interestingly, going for another relatively light bike, a setup to say it's an aero bike. Let's have a look. Helen Stewart in here. Helen also nice lightweight hoops there. It should be a real benefit once we go here up on to the climb. Fiona Bucker, definitely a rider not to discount. Fiona in that light blue of the Garmin. Interestingly, Fiona, for all that riding, still on a standard Zwift bike. Interesting to see that as she makes her way through in here. Just on with Joanne Lee, who is just to the side here. Joanne on her I say classic, because it is pretty much classic kit, and that is going to be the purple camo kit along with the pink Tron bike. So have a check at what's Angela riding today. Angela Webster in the Toronto Hustle kit again. Well, that gone for the lightweight hoops this time. They are proper full-on carbon fibre lightweights as well. Really interesting to see Emma Dooley, the Fear Squad. Emma usually on a Tron, she is indeed, and in a matching Tron to the Fear kit as well. Very nice bit of kit there. So look at Sarah Briggs of the Racing Female Development Academy in the blue and black, very similar in fact to that, the Tour of California kit, and Sarah in a blue and white matching Zwift bike. So a real pack all together there. Let's take a little bit of a look a little further back. Sammy Stewart will be on a Canyon, and we're no doubt, in fact, a special edition Canyon to match the kit. And Sammy, of course, re-signed us for the Camps Basso team. Great to hear the news. Let's have a little look. Tracy Seeley. Well, Tracy probably going for the S-Works, yeah, and the DT lightweight wheels on there. Rebecca on a Tron bike, going to be on the pink Tron bike, and that Lamprey inspired kit. Nice setup. Then Miss Cookie, who is on that aero bike. We know that Emma is going to be on a Tron bike as a red beacon in the Aeonian strip. Good to see Emma back in there. So we've got a nice group of 4 there. Emma Lansfield on the Canyon there, and Danielle Miller just on that pink and white Zwift machine with the lightweight hoops on as well. So we have a group of 4 riders in the Beacon group in the red bus at the moment, and rolling along quite nicely as a group, working together well. 3 in the intermediate group, and then looks like Helen with a little bit of a dropout as well. Don't forget, Helen, that jump in applies for 30 minutes, so the tight turn shout coming out. A couple of riders we haven't yet featured. Stefania in here, Stefania in Rabuti. So Stefania Rabuti in the gang, riding another Lamprey kit there. Nice lightweight bike as well. Good to see that we've got Stefania on as well. Not sure that we featured Isla Isto. Isla, another of our riders from Scotland. Isla riding in the Socks and Watts kit. Very nice Pinarello. Russ would definitely approve of that on the way through. It's good to see that we've got Isla Isto in here as well as we come down in towards the Houses of Parliament. So just letting the centre faces go down past the barracks. Is still nice and busy, which is good to see. Interesting, chasing group in there. Our lead group on the Chaingang here. Well, yes, we are aware there is a group up in front, but we will shortly at this rate be reintroducing the classic group. There is a group off the front. The group off the front, not with the yellow beacon, will find themselves the reason why we reintroduce the Chaingang going across to being a secret event that you have to apply to join, rather than it being an open event if people can't play the game. Real simple stuff. Play the game, or we put it as a secret event, guys. Dead simple stuff. Anybody who tuned in previous week will know exactly my thoughts on people who don't play the game. Go do one, ride on another ride instead. There's lots of Zwift rides, believe me. There's only one Chaingang. So let's take a look. It's riding along nicely. That ramped worker on its way up at the moment. So around comes our yellow beacon group, looking good. We come round past the bus around the top of Hyde Park Corner, up to the top of Constitution Hill, and now heading back on to their descent down. And you can see that group in there. So the front of the ride is here. Anyone in front, basically not on the ride. Dead easy. Even I can work out which is yellow. So Sammy Stewart got a nice little group here, going with Sammy. So Sammy, Tracy and Rebecca Ryder. Nice team of three here, working well. Looking good at the moment. That red beacon group at about 47. Good group though, they're working really well. I'm seeing some nice watts per kilo in there. Just taking a little look. I think Rebecca just feeling that pace on that climb. So in past Buckingham Palace they go, and you can just see our red beacon group working nicely together. Our leading group all here as they motor along down the straight. So just headed away from the Houses of Parliament, heading down the mall into the final sprint line, coming in and through. So through the line they go, looking good. Interested to see who dumps what power-ups here, because there's no way you're going to need the steamroller. Nice to see we've got new PB for that sprint time, set by Sandra McKay there with the Watch the Femme, and that's the Tour de France Femme, of course. Historic race, and great to see so many races and the crossover between our esports racing and the rest of the racing. Now a little bit of a shout from behind, that's Tracy, Sammy, and then Rebecca Ryder. Let's take a little bit of a check. It'll be interesting to see if they can get back on again. Meanwhile, coming downhill, you can just see our red beacon, just making sure all four are on the way through here. I'm loving the comment from Emma, who's not been on a bike for some time. How did I sit on a saddle for so long? Loving it. So now red beacon getting ready to sweep Sammy and Tracy on the way through. Interesting to see that Tracy just dumping a steamroller at the moment. So this group coming in towards the end of the classic 1K banner, which basically is used in the opposite direction. Interesting to see people moving to the back of the group to dump burritos. Very nice and considerate of them. Dump burritos at the back, never dump them up near the front unless you want to go for a breakaway, in which case that's the time to lose them. So Fiona tucked in nicely with our yellow beacon group as they come around that turn. So it looks like Fiona Booker just on the wheels of Izzy Torrey, the rider for the Aeonian squad. It was good to see that we had Carla actually on the squad of the head honcho on there. So last in real life ride for our red beacon actually was the ride by on the in real life DCG. Going out to Nunners now. As we come back down the classic route, we come back in and we're going to go back down along Downing Street, then we head out the normal route. So the guys just working out where they're headed. So across underneath the T-square, underneath the pillar, and then they head down, taking that left-hand turn, and down along Whitehall, down past Downing Street, and then back in out around the side of the river. All the main contenders in here. Our chasing group of riders, not all that far behind. This is Tracy Sealing and Sammy Stewart on a little bit of a push at the moment, just to wind themselves back in again. Looks like Rebecca Ryder's going to have that red beacon group that's motoring along quite well here. Looks like a little bit of a gap just forming every now and then in there. It looks like they're just making the way in and around the turn. I love the fact Sammy Stewart, though, in that Tracy Seeley Sammy Stewart group, saying, faster, would you like to go a bit quicker? Would you like to go a bit quicker? Sammy's got lots of power, lots of pace. We know that. Absolute legend on the bike. So they go one side of this little one-way system, and which is one-way in real life. then in around the side of Trafalgar Square, which has a roundabout, and this, it doesn't actually have a roundabout. That's telling you, so neither used an ornament when you come into it in real life. Has some real rubbish traffic lights on it most of the time. So on the way down, so Tracy having to hold back a little bit. Rebecca Ryder waiting for our going to be getting our bus, a rare bus on its way in and along, looking good. Our lead group of riders around our yellow beacon, nice and running nice and smooth. So it looks like Sarah Briggs just dropping to the back of that bunch in that blue and black RFDA, aka the Tour of California kit. And as our riders come down past over the side, that's going past Waterloo Bridge. Is not going to be taking that turn off there, not all that far in Swift World from the edge of Battersea Power Station at Airtel. As they make their way down and around the turns here. Looks like that's going to be Anna Eastoe just rolling to the back of that group. Riders just taking a little bit of a break, making sure they're not doing too much work, but looking good at the moment and not busting a gut. Remember, the strength in that group is absolutely key. So it looks like Sammy with Tracy in tow, just ahead of Rebecca, who's on her way down Whitehall, just coming down past the Cenotaph there. And looks like Miss Cookies jumped in nicely with Red Beacon. These riders taking it in turns. Red Beacon just sitting at the back on the way down here. Going to have Rebecca in their sights, not all that far down the road. They just come past that same Cenotaph. About 15 seconds that gap, 2 minutes up the road to Sammy's group, and this is of course our lead group, the Yellow Beacon group. Anybody up the road and away from the Yellow Beacon doesn't count and will be studiously ignored, rather than me rising to it and calling them what I generally think of people who don't play the game. Unlike this group, who are amazing. I love all of this group, they're so cool. And riding rather nicely as well. So this group doing a great job of keeping the pedals turning and riding well. Yellow Beacon, the place to be if you're up anywhere near the front. Red Beacon, of course, the sweeper at the back. No surprise to see Sarah Briggs up near the front. So it's like Rebecca just getting the call from the bus saying, jump on the gang, jump on the bus. Let's get a thumbs up on to Rebecca as they go through. So the bus hopefully picking another passenger. Yeah, looks like Rebecca just picking up the pace nicely in there. So the bus now with 5 riders on board. So it's going to be Emma, our beacon, Miss Cookie, Sarah in there, Rebecca Ryder, Emma Lansfield, as well as Danielle Miller. So the red bus nicely formed and moving quite smoothly along the side of the River Thames at the moment. Soon to be taking that right-hand turn and heading away up into town. Nicely done. Then we are going to see our dynamic duo, the Terminator 2.0. That is Tracy City. Then we're going to have the one and only, the legendary Sammy Stewart. Sammy in here. Sammy, of course, a rider who combines a full-time career as a firefighter as well as being a world-class bike rider. Then we have our leading group of riders who have swept up the Muppet Show at the front and now have got them in with the group. No doubt we'll be seeing them back probably out the back. So let's see how it rolls as they make their way up into the front. And we are going to take the right-hand turn, so that pace being held nicely. Remember our yellow beacon, the one and only, which we'll get to them, Lisa Jane. Oh my goodness, Lisa Jane Lake has hit the go, go, go button already. Now that is brilliant move there by Lisa. She's gone for a very, very early go, go, go. That is harsh because we're not even at the underpass here. This is going to be very interesting indeed. Who is going to be sat on here? Because you can see that Lisa has decided that this is going to be time to hit the burners timer to make this count. Emma Gilbert just tucked in nicely in here. Lisa Jane pulling the pin. And looks like Monkhouse has really accelerated up. It's going to be Sarah Briggs who's leading the charge as they come up towards the Serpentine on the left-hand side here. So they've gone early. This is a interesting move. Lisa pulling what is a fairly traditional DCG distance in terms of time at 40 minutes. But our riders have yet to make their way back, drop down the side of the hill. And then there's still that final climb still to come. Lisa, absolute hero. Interesting to see what's going to happen here as this pin has been pulled early. We've got the one and only Joe Blackburn in here as well. Joanne Lee in at Blackburn. Definitely big danger rider in this pack. A regular taking victory on the front. Will she be able to do so today? Got some interesting company today, not least of all the rider based out of Christ and Sheffield, Sarah Briggs, Ginger Ninja herself, who is a rider who we know can ride uphill and Midlands International Hill Climb, a rider who basically can ride the real-life Chaingang as well as the DCG quite comfortably. So going to be very interesting to see how that pans out as the rider goes on. Has certainly blown that group apart. And it looks to me like Easto on the underpass just being a distance. Looks like McKay is the same. Looks like Stefania being distanced. Remember, of course, if you do get distance, grab a group and jump on board. You've got the fast-moving Sammy Stewart and Tracy Seeley train on the way through. And, of course, you've got our Beacon group sweeping our riders on the way through. So make sure you grab a wheel, jump on board with a rider and make sure you get somebody to sit behind. Now, interestingly, Fiona Booker riding this smart, sat at the back of this group, but quite a few of these riders are making sure they're not going too hard too soon. So Lisa pulling the pin where she did has separated a few of those riders out, but this is now going to be tactical because we have this climb to the top. We drop down, we run down the hill to Trafalgar Square, basically. We run out of Trafalgar Square, downhill to the river. We have the roller coasters of the river, and then we have the climb. Really interesting to see who pushes on and where. Who lets it just tick along? Are they all going to wait for the climb? Are they going to go early? Are they going to use these little drags, these kickers, to tire the legs out of the riders who are likely to feature at the end? It's going to be very interesting. I suspect it's going to be a real interesting chase behind. Sandra McKay has got Tracy City and Sammy Stewart, not all that far behind. So this is going to be really interesting. Remember, all about making sure you ride nicely as a pack, try and keep that group together. The Red Beacon group of 5 are working the way up that climb at the moment. Looks like Stefania nicely keeping those revs, 97 revs per minute at the moment. So working well at the most, so keeping those revs nice and smooth. 100 revs per minute, 144 beats per minute. Sandra McKay, 80 revs per minute, just in front, only 7 seconds back to Stefania from Sandra, so not all that far behind. Then you can see we've got Tracy Seeley and Sammy Stewart in front. So it looks like Tracy benefiting from the draft from Sammy Stewart's wheel. Then it's going to be Isla Easto. Isla just on that downhill. She knows that you got the gang on the way through. So let's see how they're rolling. Then it is going to be the group with Izzy Torrey in here. Izzy sitting nicely in this group. Joanne Lee tucked in here as well. Looks like Sarah Briggs in here, Emma Dooley, Fiona Booker, Nicholas Soden in the real who's who, as Angela Webster nicely in this pack as well. But remember, this time round, we take what is the second exit on the right-hand side. We eschew a Whitehall, quite right, and then taking the drop down of the hill, so down on to the riverside they go. You can see that pace just picking up, 48, 49 at kph, 50 kph, 51, 52. The speed picking up over 30 miles an hour as this group descend down at speed. So coming down to the wheel, down to the side of the river, down underneath the stations, underneath the rail lines here. So this is our lead group here. Foxy leading them down along the embankment. And now going to be taking the way down towards Tower Bridge on what at times is a dual carriageway in real life. So occasionally it is two-way traffic. It's almost like it is on Swift. So in with our yellow beacon, in with Foxy. And Lisa just making that call. It has called this down to a very select group of riders in there. Joe Blackburn, the rider there, taking a drink in that Wahoo local kit. Got to be a firm favourite. Cam riders like Briggs take that sting out on the way through. Don't forget, of course, we've got Monkhouse in here from the Electric Spirit team. And Suzanne, another rider who spent a bit of time on the Chaingang now, knows how to ride this gang, ride it fast, take that draft. Will she have the ability to distance Joe Blackman, who's got to surely be the hot favourite at the moment? However, don't forget, of course, it's only 44 seconds back to the one and only Sammy Stewart. Could Sammy spring a surprise on the climb from 44 seconds back now? 43. This will be some comeback if Sammy was able to pull the group back and then go. So at the moment, Sammy Stewart and Tracy Seeley are 43 seconds off from the group. Now 42. And coming down, will they get them back by the time they come on to the climb? They can not quite see the yellow pillar just up in front. We're just in with Sammy's view now. You can just about see it going underneath the bridges, so going to be interesting to see. Let's see if they can make it before the hill. They've got Isla Easto tucked in nicely in here on the wheels. I suspect Sammy is going to be on a bit of a mission, and good luck to anybody who tries to stay on the wheel. That includes Tracy Seeley and Isla Easto, to be brutally honest. Let's take a little bit of a run back. Looks like Sandra McKay 5 seconds in front of Stefania. So that is going to be Stefania Rubuti. So Rubuti not all that far off the back. Let's see. So Sandra just continues to push here. So keeps that pace nicely moving. We're going to take a little bit of a check. Here's Sammy, Tracy and Isla together. Make that now 38 seconds off the group. That group distance is coming down slowly but surely. A bit like Jaws this. We need that music going on, because kind of that's the case. They're going to need a bigger draft at the front or a bigger boat. Now, a little bit of movement on the front here. I think we've seen a bit of movement by the one and only Izzy Torrey, starting to wind this up. She's got Joe Blackburn for company. They know that the riders behind are coming. Let's see how this cracks on, because we're not all that far from reaching the Tower of London. The gantry in front showing on the 3D map, top right-hand side of your screen. So, before we get to the hill, we have a little job to do, and we are going to keep the screen up on your screens. We have a giveaway to do. So, let's do the giveaway as the action starts to really crack on here. We have a giveaway of a set of full custom Oakley shades going out to one of our riders on the DCG gang. Now, we have 56 riders who have supported us this month and in the year's draw. You can see to the left, to the bottom of your screen, we'll start up our random number generator. Now, the random number generator, although it says randoms we can get, it will pull a random number up. And they are in alphabetical first name order today. Starts off with A for Adi and ends with a W for Wayne. In fact, we've got a couple of Waynes, so it's then done by surname after that. So, 1 in 56 chance for a set of custom Katos, Sutros, Frog Skins, Holbrooks, gas cars, whatever you want, custom iridium lenses, clear lenses, rose tinted lenses, whatever you want, up for grabs. Let's see who is going to win. Courtesy of 1080, make sure you hit 1080.co.10-80.co.uk. Jump on there. Discounts for members of DCG Gang. Big discounts for everybody. Very, very cheap prices on all Oakleys. Great for everything from snowboarding, goggles, through to hoodies, Fox apparel. Dive on there. If you're out and around Norwich, make sure you call in. It is just waiting for the next. So, custom Oakleys up for grabs for one member of the DCG gang. Who is it going to be? Let's hit the stop button. I can't see this. I have tried to make this stop on proper numbers. It never ever works. It's impossible. I'll close my eyes. Hit the button. It is number 16. James Forbes, was just missed Jimmy Allen and Jamie Pearson at either side at 15 and 17. At 16, it is the one and only James Forbes. Let's see if we can get that up on camera. There you go. James Forbes, congratulations, mate. You are the winner of a set of full custom Oakleys, courtesy of 1080. Congratulations, mate. We are going to dive back in with the ride, and let's see who's going to win tonight. So, leading group at the moment, 8 seconds clear. It is Blackburn and Torrey on the descent. Interesting to see Izzy Torrey in here. These are both riders who are very strong in all formats. Behind Sarah Briggs, 13 seconds down. Then it's going to be the yellow beacon group. And this is interesting because they are leaving this late to make the most of the draft if they want to be in there. Emma Gilbert in here looks like Lisa, and Foxy in here looks like Monkhouse sitting in as well. So it's going to be then Angela Webster. Now it looks like we are about to lose the one and only Sammy Stewart. I suspect work is calling one way or another. Sammy, amazing to have you with us as always on the Chaingang. Thank you very much for jumping in and joining us once again. We know you stop all night long and play on the Chaingang. We know that for sure, and we will see you again. So got pretty close in that chase. It's going to mean that Tracy and Isla Easto are going to be left on to their own devices to chase. Now, interesting to see we've got Fiona Booker still nicely tucked in here. We've got Suzanne in as well. We'll see if Sammy's going to be on next week for Emma's birthday bash. Yes, it is Emma's birthday. It is a significant birthday as well next week for our Red Beacon. She will be spending her birthday on the Chaingang before we head back to the UK. So instead of being taken out for dinner, Emma is going to get to ride on the Chaingang for a birthday. That's what you call dedication. I sure as heck wouldn't be. In fact, I'm going to be working on my birthday if I think about it long enough. See, it's going to be Emma on the way through now. Let's take a run up to the front of the road. We're just in with Nicholas Soden. We've got Sarah Briggs up in front, 4 seconds up the road. The gap, though, is out, and it's out to this woman. It is Joe Blackburn, who is the rider on a charge. We've hit the slopes of Keith Hill. And it's Joe who is going to lead our riders up there. Quick reminder, on to the zigzag section on the right-hand side of the screen. We finish at 36.7, so we've got 4.2k to go. Riders now on to that section of the climb that takes you up. You can see working the way up a couple of orange and red sections. At the moment, it is Blackburn who is leading. A long way to go, though. Izzy Torrey looks to be still with Joe in her sights. Then it's going to be Briggs. Can Briggs hold a podium placing here? Top 3 from those riders behind. Just seeing Joanne Lee in the mix here, but still a big group of riders chasing our leaders. So at the moment, it's Joe Blackburn, Izzy Torrey, and Sarah Briggs on the climb. They are the 3 leaders. The Yellow Beacon group, well, that is that battle from 4th downwards. And then it is going to be a run back to Isla Easto and Tracy Seeley. Then we're going to take a little bit of a run back. Looks like Stefania in here. So Stefania tucked in to this group with 3 riders. Then it's going to be Emma Lansfield, who's got a little bit of a gap at the moment on that Red Beacon group. So all about holding in the pace here. So looks like these riders on that roller coaster section, just trying to keep everybody together on to the climb. Now that Red Beacon's there, encouraging everybody onwards. But we're going to take a run up towards the very front. You can see this group is getting well and truly strung out as we jump up from Emma Dooley here up on the front. Lisa Jane Late, our Yellow Beacon, still riding smoothly on that Pinarello on the climb, just alongside Fiona Booker, along with Suzanne Monkhouse. But our top 3 riders in 3rd place at the moment, it's Sarah Briggs. Come on, Briggsy. Time to get those Matlock trained legs rolling. Then it's going to be Izzy Torrey. Izzy is very different cadence here. 63 from Briggsy. Izzy Torrey at nearly 90 revs per minute. But the rider who is really leading them all out, just on one of the flatter sections here, 82 revs per minute, is Joe Blackburn. Blackburn having a clear run. You can see it's a long way back to our Yellow Beacon's pillar. Just see the point of it. Just sticking out into the distance. Keith Hill, one of the more open climbs actually on this part of the Surrey Hills that are magically transported right up to the edge of London. None of that filler in between. It's a straight run in and through. So Joe, then Isley, then it's going to be Sarah. There are top three. Nicholas Sutton in the mix. Lisa Jane Lake continuing to push here. The gap started to open up off the front. Here's Fiona Booker still in the group. Looks like John Lee there. Emma Gilbert just starting to be distanced here. So come on, Emma. Now's the time to push. So Emma Gilbert, another good ride by Emma. Make the most of this downhill. Use the pace on the downhill to push up into the group, because the moment you go on to that uphill section, people will come back. Use the momentum and roll in is absolutely key. So behind then it's going to be Tracy Seeley and Isla Easto. Looks like the little group around Stefania. Looks like Sandra McKay just almost onto the wheels here. Stefania, the two riders, not all that far behind that group now. Lansfield with a little bit of a gap. Then it's going to be Cookie, then Ryder, then Miller, and then it's going to be Emma. It is all about making the most of that draft effect here. So looks like Emma just distance a little bit off the back of this group, just making the most of that pace to push on. So we'll catch up with our beacons when they get back up on to the climb here. And jumping in with the gang. So let's see how those runners get on. Joe Blackburn, though, leading out at the moment, leading out on the front of the group. So Joe looking really good at the moment, just having a little look as she comes up alongside this hill. If we take the map view out as far as we can, not all that far off, coming up to the top, couple of K still to go. You just see the bottom of the top right hand side of your screen. So top right hand side, you see there's the map. There's a little grey profile of the hill. You can just see the rider that we're focused on is Joe Blackburn. She's leading up. She's a little orange arrow pointing up the hill, going from right to left. The top of this is along the top of the flat section at the top of the climb. 33 seconds back to Izzy Torrey, who continues to push. Looks like Sarah Briggs just having a little bit of a battle. Unfortunately for the rider in front of Briggsy, will not be listed in our countdown, because basically rode away from that yellow beacon, so not going to count, not going to get a mention. It's kind of how it works, guys. Play the game or just get dumped out. So looks like Briggsy in third place, Lisa Jane Lake in fourth, Dooley in there in fifth, Nicola in sixth. Then we're going to go back. It's going to be a seventh at the moment for Joanne Lee. Then it's going to be Suzanne Monkhouse in 8th, Gilbert in 9th, Seeley in 10th, Easter in 11th, then going to be Stefania in 12th, Sandra McKay in 13th, Lansfield in 14th, Cookie in 15th, Rebecca Ryder in 16th, Danielle Miller in 17th, and our Red Beacon always last, of course, 18th position actually as they get up to the top of the climb. That's where the scores on the doors. There is a big hill at the end of this. Even though Emma may have forgotten about it, you picked the route, kiddo. So Joe Blackburn now on that long straight section. This is an interminable part of the climb. You come around onto the, you go a long straight, you come onto this slightly sweeping section. You see the road going off to your right. Rumours are that one day that will turn into another route coming off the side. I was just saying, yeah, she realises she picked the route. And you can come around this sweeping turn, and there's another long straight bit. And to be honest, it's one of the reasons why this is one of my less favourite hills on the climb up. You got to get into a time trial pace and really pick your rhythm. You can see behind our leading group, it is a dot to dot behind. So Blackburn, then it's going to be Izzy Turry, then it's going to be Sarah Briggs, and Dooley along with Sudden, late Booker in there, Jolie, Monkhouse working well, Emma Gilbert looking good at the moment, Tracy Seeley, Isla Easto still nicely keeping those pedal revs high. So just watching our Beacon group about to come on to the climb. I'm going to take this left-hand turn here. So this is Miss Cookie. It's going to be Emma, our Beacon, Danielle and Rebecca taking that left-hand turn first of all to bring themselves up around this turn. So just keeping that pace nice and smooth. If we take a little bit of a run up the road, just in with Fiona Booker, who's sitting nicely in with the Yellow Beacon group here. It looks like Dewey and Sudden in there. Briggs still managing to stay 16 seconds clear, 64 revs per minute. So we're still pushing big gear up here. And it's going to be Izzy Torrey still holding 87 revs per minute, nice and smooth. But it's now nearly 1 minute up the road from Izzy Torrey to Joe Blackburn, who is becoming a bit of a legend on the Chaingang here. And Joe lining herself up very nicely for Yellow Beacon duties fairly shortly, one way or another, potentially. Certainly riding very, very strongly, week in, week out. And now heading up towards the summit. We have a long false flat on the way in, or flat, depending on your definition of false flat, because it is a 1%. It feels like flat, even though it's not. Basically, that is the definition of a false. A false flat is a flat that is not flat. It just feels it because you've been climbing something steeper beforehand. And riders have been climbing a steeper gradient beforehand. This is between 0 and 2% this section of road, and does alternate up and down. It is definitely not flat by anybody's definition. Let's see just how the riders get on though. So Blackburn on the level section now just running in to the gantry. It's going to be Joe Blackburn who's going to do this once again. So Joe Blackburn coming in to take another win on the Chaingang. Once again, it is Joe Blackburn in those Wahula colours who comes in to take the first rider over the KOM. Nicely done, Joe. Not only does that, but takes the Leith Hill jersey. Great time in 11:14 as well. So Joe Blackburn comes through to take a top spot. Behind it's Izzy Torrey being chased up by Sarah Briggs. Then Soden and Booker, who are very close together. They've got Foxy not all that far behind. So, like you said, just got Emma Dooley on her heels at the moment. Jolie working well. Got that Beacon in front to chase. 25 seconds is the gap. So Joe Blackburn's time, the fastest time, as on to the summit plateau goes Izzy Torrey from the Aeonian squad. The Aeonian race team, of course, busy racing the ZRL in between those gaps. Of course, great to see the riders jumping on the Donny Chaingang. Don't forget, of course, tomorrow it is the last Donny Chaingang of 2022 before we move into 2023. So the riders looking good, working well. So Izzy just on this final push into the line. It's going to be a second place for Izzy Torrey, the Aeonian race team rider. You can see that on the side of the kit, going to come in and through the line and begin that descent. Remember, of course, the finish line is always a fixed point on the Donny Chaingangs. We then give you a run to the blue banner to spin your legs out. Good riding by Izzy. So Izzy Torrey, second rider in and through the line. Great riding by Izzy Torrey of the Aeonian Racing. So Joe Blackburn, who's on the descent, taking top spot. Izzy Torrey taking second place. Sarah Briggs going to be our third rider up to the line. Great riding by Sarah today. So Sarah Briggs on the run in for the finish line, makes her way in and through. Great riding by Sarah, staying with that yellow beacon, of course, right the way through until the go, that trigger point that signals that all the bets are off. The rules are relaxed, so well done, Sarah. Time to spin those legs out. Chased by this group behind. This is going to be very interesting indeed. So Emma Dooley currently on the front. You've got Fiona Booker in here. You've got Soden in here. You've also got our yellow beacon in as well. Now the question is, who is going to go for it? Soden starts to wind it up for the sprint here. Nicola, one of our regulars on the Chaingang. She knows where the top of the climb is. She's starting to push. Fiona Booker pushing back here. Looks like Booker's getting the sprint wound up. Is Booker going to take this? She's going to roll her. It's going to be Fiona Booker who's going to take it. Booker goes over the line. Then it's going to be Soden, followed by Lisa Jane Lake, followed by Emma Dooley. Great riding as they came in and through. Got to say a massive thank you to this rider. It is the one and only Lisa Jane Lake. Great leading as always by Lisa. Thank you very much, Lisa, for leading the very final WOW DCG of 2022. And looking forward to seeing you in 2023. Get some rest on the way down. Spin your legs out. Now, going to jump back to Joanne Lee. Joe on the descent. Joe, another of our regular riders, one of our beacons. Great to see you over the line as well. Amazing riding done by Joanne Lee. And Joe, we'll see you in 2023. If we don't see you again tomorrow, of course, for the Donny Chaingang. Now, two riders who are in with that yellow beacon, working the way in to the finishes. Emma Gilbert here in the blue. You've got Suzanne Monkhouse in the orange, sat on the wheels here. Are we going to see a jump by either rider as they come up to the gantry? Have they got anything left in their legs before they start that descent? So remember the finish at the top of the KOM. It looks like Emma Gilbert's going to push on here. It is Emma who is going for it. So here we go. Amazing stuff. It's Emma Gilbert who pushes over the top. Then it's going to be Monkhouse immediately behind. So cracking riding by our riders on the WOW DCG once again. So Emma and Suzanne will no doubt see you after the a little bit of a gap. We've got Tracy Seeley, we've got Ida Eastoe continuing to push here. Stefania, looks like Sandra McKay, Emma Lansfield, looks like Rebecca Ryder, Miss Cookie, Emma in there as well, and Danielle Miller on the way up on to the climb here on the Donny Chaingang. So our next rider to line should be Tracy Seeley, the Terminator T 2.0. Don't forget, of course, you've got Donny Chaingang on Tuesday. On Thursday tomorrow. That's going to be our penultimate one. So don't forget, of course, if you want to be in with a shout of winning a prize, you have to join the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. Basically, Russ, myself, and all of the team all do this just to keep the show on the road. And thank you to everybody who's donated regularly. The first of those sets of shares going out to Jamie Forbes. Jamie, Congratulations. We'll be in touch. We'll let you know how you can claim your prize. It's one custom pair. Now, tomorrow is the final because it's the very last Donny Chaingang of the year. There'll be 2 pairs, not 1 but 2 pairs of custom Oakleys going out to 2 members of the DCG gang. So 2 chances. It's 1 random prize. It'll be a 1 in 57 chance, and then a 1 in 56 chance of winning one of those pairs. So, don't forget to join. Don't forget, of course, that all of the giveaways from the guys up there. I'm going to say a massive thank you to OTE who kicked us off, to the team at Halo for Halloween, for Gritty who took us all the way through November, and 1080 who have brought us through December and are going to take us into the very last one. If you support the guys who support your sport, who support the Chain Gang, these are the guys who do it. They look after the members of the DCG gang. Velaskin will be kicking off in January. 20% off Velaskin Gritty OTE. Got the extra discount off Halo off 1080. Nolan's looking after our riders. We've got offers coming up in the new year from Continental. So it is going to be Velaskin who are going to take us in through January. February will be Continental. Perfect time to get those 4-season tyres on the bike. Don't forget, of course, we're then going to have Nonas for the Spring Classics for March for things like Strada Bianchi and Milan San Remo. And then we will be finishing off with one of our team up there who've looked after our riders. One of those 7 will be back. I know who it is. They know who it is. They'll be back in April to round the year off. Don't forget, if you remember DCG Gang, stock up with the kit when you get those offers because they are better discounts than you're going to find elsewhere. Now, let's get back to the ride because the one and only Terminator, it is Tracy Seeley in and through the gantry. Well done to Tracy. Tracy taking it supposedly easy, chasing the wheels of Sammy Stewart. So great riding once again by the Terminator, by T 2.0. Tracy, congratulations. You think you're mental going and riding 500k on Zwift on Friday, but I hope it all goes to plan, and I'll be thinking of you. I'm not sure I'm going to be getting on a bike and join you. Now we're going to drop back to Isla Easto, the next of our riders who's in with our yellow beacon as they rolled in to that go, not disappearing off the front. So great riding by Isla once again. Nice revs again, keeping that pedal cadence just sitting up over 80. Not all that far behind is Stefania Rubiti. So Rubiti, and very close in fact here. And Rubiti's got 94 revs per minute on the go here. Going to go past Isla. Isla, come on, there was going to be a little bit left in that tank. This is the run for the line. Remember, you stop when you hit that gantry. That's all that matters. So it looks like Stefania hitting the flat there. He's got a little bit more left in that tank. Can Isla respond to this? I think there's not a lot left there. Legs may well have gone pop on the way through, just spinning them out, taking the smart option. Can she pick that back up? But looks like Stefania is going to be our next rider to come in up to the line, who's in with our riders. And had been riding nicely with that yellow beacon as well. So final push to the line, the gantry in sight. Here it comes. Going to be the top of the climb. Easto putting in another kick to get herself up to the line. That's the gantry that is coming here. It's going to be Stefania who comes through, so great riding by Stefania. Well done, congratulations, a 16:57. So remember, top of the hill to finish, the warm down on the way down. Isla Easto comes through, great riding, Isla. And congratulations to the Chain Gang, done in that fantastic Socks for Watts kit. Plenty of ride-ons on there as well. Isla, make the most of the downhill, spin those legs out, get that lactic acid out, and enjoy the downhill. Best bit of the ride on this hill is the downhill coming off the other side. Now our next rider is going to be Sandra McKay, another rider who's improved all season long. A nice nice bit of kit there sitting on the matching the bike to the Watch the Fems by Zwift as Sandra makes her way up. Should be our next rider hitting the gantry. Then a little bit of a gap back to Emma Lansfield and Rebecca Ryder. Then we will be dropping from them down to Miss Cookie. Then it'll be Emma and Danielle, who are on their way up the climb. So remember that spin down to the blue banner is key. Sandra McKay on her way up into that gantry. So in and over the line comes our rider once again. It is going to be Sandra McKay. In through the gantry she goes over the top of the climb. Well done, Sandra. Another great ride on the DCG. And time for that downhill. Spin those legs out. Get that lactic acid out of the system. Get yourself ready to grab some food, some recovery fuel from OTE. And then get ready for the next race. Now, on the climb, we've got Emma Lansfield, we've got Rebecca Ryder, we've got Miss Cookie, Sarah just on to the climb. Then we've got Danielle Miller, and of course our beacon, it is the one and only Emma in there as well. So these riders nicely up and on to these twists and turns. So, looks like Rebecca Ryder and Emma Lansford in their own little private battle here. Emma's on a bit of a charge up on to the climb here on that aero bike. The revs nice and high, 90, 89, 90 revs per minute. Nice pedal cadence there. Bigger gear clearly for Rebecca at the moment. It's a long way to push big gear up this climb. It's pretty steep stuff. But if you've got your turbo train set pretty hard, that could well be the case. You've got to keep on going. Looks like Miss Cookie deciding that going to be out of the cell is going to be key on that steeper section, 9% there as she goes up. And you can see Danielle Miller along with Emma, our beacon from the Aeonian race team, on the way up that same section of climb. So Sandra on her way down, Emma making her way up. Looks like Rebecca Ryder with the gap up to Emma. Emma continuing to push on here. So let's get some ride-ons down onto Emma, on to Rebecca, who we must have already hit with a ride-on. Miss Cookie can grab one as well. Danielle definitely going to get one from us here. Yeah, no, we might even give our red beacon a ride on the way through. There we go, just dropping down on our riders. So Emma on this long straighter section of climb, a real tough part of the climb. And whilst she's on her way up the climb, quick reminder from me, don't forget, of course, if you're a member of the monthly Donny Chaingang for December, you do need to join again for January. If you've joined all the way through on the season pass, don't forget that season pass will open for January. That will run January, February, March and April. That is a 4-month pass. It's still cheaper, but it just saves you a lot of hassles. You know that you get the details of every ride nice and early. It comes through as soon as we get the links, we get them out to you as riders, as members of DCG Gang. You get the heads up of where the finish line is, what the route is, what the distance is, what the giveaway is going to be. Of course, you get those discount codes from our friends who look after the riders on the DCG Gang as well. So a massive, massive thank you to the guys up there for their support on the way through. Don't forget, of course, without supporting them and without the support of our riders, we just can't keep the chain gang going. It's a big investment in time on the way through. So it is really key that you support the people who support the chain gang. Now, just running through our various screens, just keeping an eye on everything rolling as we make our way up the climb. Good to see that we've got so many of our riders in and watching, and we know not everybody can make it right the way through to the end of the gang. Hopefully, everybody enjoying their ride on the way through. So, a number of our riders on the way through. So really interesting. Just catching up with a couple of the comments on the feeds. So Paul Easto is saying LA for Isla would be appreciated. No problems at all. Isla doing a great job today with the beacon going up and over the top. We do try and follow all. Basically, if you play the game, you stay with the yellow beacon. Up to the go, 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 or you're behind the yellow beacon, and then we will talk about you endlessly. Yes, kind of what we do. Everyone knows I can talk forever. If you don't play the game, then you don't get a mention. It's real easy. You might get the Muppet tune played for you. You might get the Mickey ripped out of you, or you might find me talking about you in less than encouraging terms. Quite simply because it basically rips the group apart, and it is really key that our riders play the game. Isla doing that with aplomb. Absolutely superb ride by Isla Easto, and great to have you back after some time off with illness, and great to see our riders. And that's the thing, there's always going to be somebody on there, so remember, it is really key, guys. Make sure that you jump on, you join the gang, that you have a whole load of fun and get on the ride. Don't forget, of course, that we have Russ back on Thursday. Tomorrow on the Donny Chaingang, going to be key. Let's see who is going to be rolling as we reach that stage. But looking good at the moment, and looks like everybody's still working well. So just keeping a check on our riders. Looks like we're just going in underneath the archway there. Always a key point on this climb. And interesting to see that this gap to Rebecca Ryder is not opening out all that much. So Rebecca at the moment 7 seconds back to Emma Lansfield, making the way up here, getting closer and closer and closer. Really interesting to see. Really interesting to watch just how close they are getting. So just a quick get well soon to Holly Bergin. Holly, one of our regulars on the Donny Chaingang, one of our regular riders, and always battling it out, gives it absolutely everything. And I've got to say, get well soon, Holly. We hope to have you back on the Chaingang. Remember though, if you've got the dreaded lurgy, if you have come down with the dreaded COVID, then remember the current protocols are all about keeping you off the bike for a fairly substantial period of time and not coming back too soon. Last thing you want to do is come back at the wrong period, come back too soon and give yourself long COVID. You could be out 4 months. Please, guys, make sure you are smart about when you come back. It's pretty serious stuff. It is key that you ride sensibly on your way back in. Do not end up landing yourself with some debilitating long COVID, which takes a long time to get over. The pro protocols now are generally an absolute minimum of 2 weeks off the bike when you get it. If you test positive, even if you're not feeling the after effects, make sure that you've got those tests, the lateral flow tests at home. Guys, look after yourselves. You need your lungs, your legs and everything working on the way into old age, and when you're a bike rider, even more important to keep everything working. Now, this is going to be very interesting. Emma Lansfield being pulled back here by Rebecca Ryder. They are currently 2 seconds apart. We're just in with a Ryder at the moment. If we drop down, you can see this pace is starting to pick up here. So Rebecca Ryder coming up onto the hills. Emma Lansfield now knows that she's on her heels. She's going to see her come past. The question is, can Lansfield respond now? 3.6, 3.5. Emma is responding to this. Remember, we finish at KOM Bannon, the Keith Hill top summit. That's the finishing line. That's the one that counts here. Emma is going to go up onto the wheels. Is she going to go over the top fast enough? She's got a little bit of a gap here. We're on a 1% false flat again. Now, Rebecca, has she got anything left in the tank to go in front of Lansfield? Lansfield's at 3.7 on the run for the line here, guys. Come on, this is the bit that counts. Who's going to be in front when they hit the line? Rebecca's going to sprint in, I think, up over the top. They're knocking chunks out of each other. I don't think anybody's got anything left as they come into the line. That final sprint in. So Rebecca Ryder goes through. Great to have you on the Chaingang again, Rebecca. Well done. Time to spin those legs out. So, remember, great riding by our riders as they go up and over. Emma Lansfield, another good ride by Emma. Great to see you on the Chaingang. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Well, hopefully we will see you back on our next one. Remember, the next one is going to be a certain somebody's half a century. I think I managed to get right the way through an hour and a half of the show without telling you that it is a half century for the current Red Beacon. It is Emma, and that is going to be next Wednesday. It is a birthday ride for Emma, the first woman back into 2023. Now, Emma Lansfield on her descent, as is Rebecca Ryder. Miss Cookie will be our next rider up to the summit. So Miss Cookie currently riding at 70 revs per minute, 142 beats per minute, heading up on to that upper slopes. And once it gets up and through these this little right and left hand complex, it then eases off. So that is when it gets very, very, very entertaining, because basically it gets super flat. It's 0 up to 2%. Going to be very, very interesting to see how they ride. So Miss Cookie up on to those upper slopes. Our helicopter just tracking through the trees, the oaks up at the top. So here we go, Miss Cookie, our next rider coming in to the finish. We'll jump in with our drone cam. We'll get up close and personal with Miss Cookie. A back pocket's full of ride-ons now rather than cookies. It is going to be Sarah coming through the line. So grim shot in over the line. Well done, Sarah. Miss Cookie on to the descent. Another of our regular riders. Another rider who we may well see tomorrow on the DCG. Definitely, I'm sure, be seen on the WOW DCG next week. So it looks like our Beacon and Danielle on to the climb at the moment, just making the way up the slopes here. Let's give you a quick reminder. Don't forget, of course, guys, remember, join the DCG game if you can. Don't skin yourself. Don't put yourselves in financial trouble. It's not worth it. It helps us. It helps us with the hosting. It helps us with the fees. It helps us with all of the restreaming. It helps us with all of the things that the Chaingang uses up. It keeps Russ pedaling and able to devote the time planning the routes, etc. for the DCG. It allows us to ensure that Emma's there, making sure that she's covering it off, that we help all of our riders as much as we can. So please, guys, make sure that if you can donate, you do. It all helps, believe me, and every little bit helps us keep the show on the road. We want to look after our riders, that is whether it's our fastest or our slowest. Please remember, read what the ride is all about when you hit the button. When you join up for the ride, there is a war and peace in front. It looks a lot, but it tells you what the ride is about. It's really key. It stops the ride from getting ripped apart by people going like loonies off the run. So please have a read. Jump on the Facebook page. Have a chat on there. People will tell you what it's all about on there. Really is key. If you do need help on the ride, shout out. If you have tech issues, shout out. That's what we're there for. It's not just any other Swift ride. This is the Donny Chaingang. Our WOW DCG and DCG rides are key. That's a bit of community that kept us up and running through COVID and through those lockdowns, keeping us rolling once again. So please, guys, make sure that you get on to the rides with us. Now, our riders continue pushing onwards. A big thank you to our riders who've been beacons throughout the season. To our yellow beacons and our red beacons. Our yellow beacons controlling pace, our red beacons sweeping up those riders. Both really important roles. Guys, thank you so much if you've been one of our beacons out on the course. Really, really is key roles. Don't forget, of course, we've got lots more rides coming up. I already know where we're heading for January with Russ's Roots. In fact, I think I know where we're going for the WOW DCGs as well. So I'm really looking forward to those. So make sure you jump on there. Don't forget to give Russ a follow. It's Fonzie Downing on Facebook, on Instagram, and Downing Cycling, of course, because, of course, coaching works. As proven by one of our riders on the Chaingang and a Downing Cycling coach rider. That's Alex Morris taking away the win in the Zwift Academy. Don't forget, of course, to follow our beacon. You can see Emma just down there on your screens, just over there. At Biking Emma, at Biking_Emma on Instagram, on Facebook. You can catch up with Emma on Strava as well as Zwift. Don't forget to follow me. It's at Matt Fixer Payne. That is on Facebook, on Strava, on Zwift. You can follow at Full Speed Events as well. That's at Full Speed Events on everything apart from Instagram, which is at Full Speed Event 5, because we couldn't get Full Speed Events. Somebody jumped in front of us for all of where we're heading. So whether we are streaming the Chaingang, whether we're working with one of our fantastic partners on any of the other cycling esports platforms, whether, of course, we are bringing you the live events like the Clanfield Cross, where we're going to be heading after the new year, or of course the full run of the UCI Cyclocross World Cups. That's going to be all the way from the 8th of January, right the way across from the 8th of January at the very first of the season, running right the way through across. So we start with Zonhoven, and we're going to right the way to the World Championship Cyclocross for the UCI. Looking forward to that. Already looks like the planning well and truly advanced for the run down into the Cycling World Championships in Glasgow. Don't forget, of course, that you can catch up with all of where we're heading on Full Speed Events. We'll be bringing you lots of updates, whether it's BMX, mountain bike, or similar. Now, our ride is just coming up on to the plateau top, as you can see just over there. It looks like the sun should come out in Zwift, which means that our studio just suddenly got a whole lot brighter. Yes, it's one of the things we do need to sort out is the studio lighting, but that can wait just a little bit longer, which means we are going to jump back in with our riders. Let's bring our red beacon and the bus up to the line, because it is going to be Danielle Miller who is going to be our next rider, I suspect, coming in to the line. Danielle continue to push all the way up that finish line, just peeking out behind the trees just up in front. The final kick for the line coming up. Our red beacon chaperoning our riders all the way in to the finish. So the final run for the line is on. Danielle Miller, great ride by Danielle. Dug deep, all the way up to the top of the climb here today. So Danielle Miller going to be completing her ride here today. Well done, Danielle. Great to see you on the Donny Chaingang. A warm down coming up to the blue banner. Spin your legs out. Get rid of the lactic acid. Enjoy the downhill. Collect those drops points to move your way up through the levels. So under the banner goes Danielle Miller, which just leaves me to feature one more rider. It's going to be our Red Beacon today. Great to see Emma back on to a bike once again here on the Donny Chaingang. So a quick reminder, a big thank you to Emma, a big thank you to all of our beacons. Make sure you join the gang if you can. We'll be back tomorrow for the last Donny Chaingang. We've got 2 giveaways coming up for 2 full sets of custom Oakleys. Congratulations to Jamie Fobbs, who's already won one today. And that pair will be winging its way to you. We'll get in touch with you and let you know how you can select whatever you want. It's that simple. So make sure you join that gang. From me, Matt Payne, from Emma, from Russ, from everybody on the Chaingang, a massive thank you to Lisa, our yellow beacon. We are all going to head off for whatever, I think it was Bailey's was tonight's drink of choice. We'll see you on the Chaingang very shortly. From me, Matt Payne, stay safe. We'll see you again soon.